All right, welcome everyone to another deep dive.
Hey everybody, it's great to be here again.
So today we're going to be diving into something that's super fundamental when it comes to learning and speaking English.
Yeah, absolutely. A really essential topic.
And that is how to introduce yourself
Yes.
and how to meet new people in English.
It's such an important skill.
And I think, it's something that can be a little bit intimidating.
For sure, especially when you're first starting out.
Yeah, especially, when you're in a new environment or you're surrounded by people who maybe speak English more fluently than you do.
It can feel a little bit nerve-wracking.
Right, but it's such a valuable skill to have because, whether you're traveling
Absolutely.
or you're working in an international environment or you're just trying to, make new friends in your local community.
You can be meeting people all the time.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
being able to confidently introduce yourself and kind of start that initial conversation,
Yeah,
that's like the key that unlocks so many other doors.
it really is.
And that's what we're going to focus on in this deep dive.
Exactly. We're going to give you all the tools and the confidence you need to walk into any room or any online event and feel ready to introduce yourself.
Yeah. And we're going to make it fun and relaxed.
Absolutely.
So think of us as your friendly English coaches.
They're conversation partners.
Exactly.
And if you're finding this deep dive useful, by the way, we'd love it if you could subscribe.
Yes, definitely hit that subscribe button.
It really helps us out, and it means you won't miss any of our future sessions where we explore all sorts of different aspects of learning English.
Yeah, and we love hearing from you guys as well. So if you have any questions or comments as we go along.
Yeah, please feel free to drop them in the comment section below.
Absolutely. All right, so our goal today is really straightforward.
Yeah.
We want to help you feel more confident speaking English, and specifically in those situations where you're meeting someone new for the first time.
Exactly.
It might seem like a small thing, but honestly, getting those introductions right can have a huge impact on your overall communication skills.
Absolutely. It sets the tone for the whole conversation.
Exactly. So let's dive right in and take a look at.
Yeah, how about we start with a real simple example?
Okay, sounds good.
Like a typical everyday situation.
Yeah.
Imagine two people meeting for the first time at a party.
Okay, I like it.
Let's call them Anna and James.
Anna and James, all right.
So they're both at this party, mingling around, and they bump into each other for the first time.
Okay.
How would that conversation go, do you think?
Well, I imagine it would be pretty straightforward.
Yeah, probably something like this.
Anna walks up to James and says, "Hi, I'm Anna."
And James might say something like, "Nice to meet you, Anna. I'm James."
And Anna could reply, "Nice to meet you too, James."
Exactly. And then maybe to keep the conversation going, Anna asks, "Where are you from?"
And James might say, "I'm from Canada." And you?
And Anna replies, "I'm from Brazil."
There you go. So simple.
Right. A really quick and easy exchange, but so many important elements packed into it.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's break down some of those key phrases that they used because they're so useful to know.
Yeah, let's start with that first one. "Hi, I'm Anna."
Yeah, it's like the classic introduction, right?
It is. It's simple. It's friendly. Gets the point across.
Yeah, and you could also say, "Hello, my name is Anna."
That works too. Hello is maybe a tiny bit more formal than hi,
Yeah, I'd say so.
but both are perfectly acceptable.
Absolutely. And then James replies with, "Nice to meet you, Anna. I'm James."
Yeah, that "nice to meet you" phrase is so important.
It really is. It's like the polite and friendly way to respond when you've just been introduced to someone.
Exactly. It shows you're happy to meet them.
And then Anna says, "Nice to meet you too, James."
Adding that "to" at the end just reinforces that mutual feeling of, pleasure at meeting.
Yeah, exactly. It makes it more like a two-way interaction.
Right. It's not just one person saying "nice to meet you" and the other person just saying their name.
It makes it more equal.
Exactly. And then comes the question, "Where are you from?"
Such a natural question to ask.
Yeah. It's a great way to learn a little bit about someone's background.
And maybe find some common ground.
Yeah, exactly. Or just show you're interested in getting to know them better.
Right. So now that we've broken down those phrases, why don't we practice them together?
Oh, I love that idea.
Yeah. So I'm going to say each phrase slowly,
Okay.
and we encourage you guys to say it out loud with us.
Yes. Repeat after us.
All right. So here we go. First one. Hi, I'm Anna.
Your turn.
Hello, my name is Anna.
Good one.
Nice to meet you.
Listen carefully and repeat.
Nice to meet you too.
Excellent.
And finally, where are you from?
Perfect. You're doing great.
So even just saying those phrases out loud a few times can really help them feel more comfortable and natural when you actually need to use them.
Absolutely. The more you practice, the easier it becomes.
Okay, so now that we've got those basic introductions down,
Yeah.
let's expand our vocabulary a little bit
Right. I like it.
and learn some more useful phrases and words that you can use when you're introducing yourself or meeting new people.
Yeah, because there's so much more you can say than just those basic phrases.
Exactly. So how about we start with this one? I'm originally from.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
So you can use this phrase to tell people where you were born or where you grew up.
Even if you don't live there anymore.
Exactly. So for example, I could say, I'm originally from a small town in the mountains.
And I could say I'm originally from a big, bustling city by the sea.
See how it gives people a little bit more context about your background?
Yeah, exactly. And it can be a great conversation starter, too.
Absolutely. All right. What's another useful phrase we can add to our repertoire?
How about I live in?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
So this one tells people where you're currently based.
Exactly. So you might say something like, I live in the city center, or I live in a quiet suburb.
It lets people know where you call home right now.
Yeah. And it could be a good way to connect with people who live in the same area.
Definitely. Now, let's move on to a question that you'll probably hear a lot when you're meeting new people.
Okay. Which one is that?
What do you do?
Oh, yeah. That's a classic.
But it can be a little bit confusing for English learners because it doesn't always mean what you think it means.
Right. It's not literally asking you, what are you doing at this very moment?
Exactly. Most of the time, it's asking about your job or your profession.
Yeah. It's basically a way of finding out how you spend your working hours.
So if someone asks you, what do you do? You could answer with something like, I'm a student. If you're
Or
short,
I'm a teacher.
or I'm an engineer.
I work as a face.
Yeah.
And then you say your job title.
Exactly. There are so many different ways to answer this question.
Yeah. It all depends on what you do for a living.
And sometimes what do you do can also be a more general question.
True. Sometimes could be more about your hobbies or interests.
Yeah, like what keeps you busy in life.
So you might answer with something like, I'm really into photography, or I love to travel.
Exactly. It really depends on the context. All right, now let's talk about a phrase that's really useful for wrapping up a conversation,
Okay.
especially when you've just met someone new.
What is it?
It's nice talking to you.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
It's a simple and polite way to signal that you've enjoyed the conversation.
And it leaves a positive impression.
Exactly. You can use it if you need to move on to talk to other people.
Or if you just want to end the conversation on a good note.
It shows that you were engaged and interested.
All right, so we've covered a lot of new phrases.
We have.
How about we practice saying them together?
Yeah, let's do it. I think it's really helpful to hear these phrases out loud.
Absolutely. It helps them sink in.
So we'll say each phrase slowly, and then we'll both give a little personal example.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, first one. I'm originally from.
Okay.
I'm originally from a place with lots of sunshine.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
I'm originally from a place that gets very cold in the winter.
Brr.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, next one. I live in
All right.
I live in a building with many apartments. I live in a house with a big garden.
Sounds lovely.
It is.
All right, next one. What do you do?
Okay.
You ask me.
What do you do?
I help people become more confident when they speak.
Oh, that's wonderful.
What about you?
I work as someone who helps people learn new things.
Nice.
All right, next one. I'm a student.
I'm a teacher.
I'm an engineer.
And finally, it's nice talking to you.
It really was.
So there you have it, a whole bunch of new phrases to add to your conversational toolkit.
Yeah. And remember, practice makes perfect.
Absolutely. The more you say these phrases out loud, the more natural they will become.
And don't worry about making mistakes.
Yeah,
Everyone makes mistakes when they're learning a new language.
exactly.
Yeah.
The important thing is to keep practicing and keep speaking.
And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of our future deep dives.
Yes, we'd love to have you as part of our learning community.
All right, are you ready to put all this knowledge into practice?
I think so. Let's get interactive.
Yeah, let's do some role playing.
This is where you guys at home get to participate.
We're going to give you a couple of short imaginary conversations.
Yeah, you can either repeat your part after us or just imagine you're one of the people in the conversation.
Okay, let's start with this first dialogue.
Okay.
I'll be one person, and you can imagine you're meeting me for the first time.
Okay, here we go.
Right. Hi, I'm Victor. What's your name?
Nice to meet you. Where are you from?
Oh, wow. That sounds like a really interesting place.
See how easy that was?
Yeah.
Now let's try a second one.
Okay,
This time you can be Victor, the first person who speaks. Okay.
I'm ready.
Hi, I'm Cynthia. What's your name?
Nice to meet you, Cynthia. And then you say your name.
Where are you from?
I'm from. And then you say where you're from.
That's fascinating. I've always been curious about. And then you say the place you're from.
So how did that feel?
We really encourage you to try those little role plays a few times.
Yeah, even just going through them in your head can be helpful. Absolutely, it gets you thinking about how you would respond in a real conversation.
All right, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about some cultural things to keep in mind when you're meeting people.
Oh yeah, cultural awareness is so important
Especially in English-speaking countries.
because customs can vary quite a bit from culture to culture.
Exactly. So, for example, in some cultures, it's very common to greet someone with a hug when you first meet them.
Yeah, or a bow, or even a kiss on the cheek.
But in most English-speaking countries, the most typical greeting is a handshake.
Right. A firm handshake while saying hi or hello and your name.
And smiling is also really important.
Oh yeah, a genuine smile goes a long way.
It shows that you're friendly and approachable.
Absolutely.
Of course, there might be slight variations depending on the specific country or the situation you're in.
Yeah, like if it's a formal setting versus a casual setting.
But generally, a handshake and a smile are a good, safe bet in English-speaking cultures.
And remember, it's more important to be friendly and genuine than to be perfect.
Absolutely. Don't let the fear of making a mistake stop you from speaking.
Most people will appreciate your effort to communicate in English.
Exactly. They'll be more focused on your enthusiasm and your willingness to connect.
Now, speaking of mistakes,
Yeah.
there's a common one that we hear sometimes from English learners when they're asking about someone's origin.
What is it?
Sometimes people say, from where you are.
Ah, yeah, I've heard that.
It's not grammatically incorrect.
But it sounds a little unnatural.
Yeah, it's not how native English speakers would typically phrase the question.
So the correct and more natural way to ask is,
Where are you from?
where are you from?
Simple as that.
Easy fix.
All right, we're nearing the end of our deep dive today.
Yeah, but before we wrap up, we want you to take everything we've talked about and try to put it into practice yourself.
Yeah, we want you to create your own introduction.
Think about what you would say if you were meeting someone new who speaks English.
To get you started, we've got some sentence starters.
We'll leave a little pause after each one so you can finish the sentence in your head, or even better, say it out loud.
All right, first sentence starter. Hi,
I'm from.
I work I'm a student.
Now try saying your whole introduction all together.
You can even record yourself on your phone and listen back to it.
Or practice in front of a mirror.
That might feel a little silly, but trust us, it helps.
And if you're feeling brave, share your introduction in the comments below.
We'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely. All right, so let's recap what we've learned today.
Yeah, we started by looking at a simple conversation.
To see how introductions work in real life.
Then we broke down some key phrases.
Like, hi, I'm nice to meet you, and where are you from?
We also added some new vocabulary.
Like, I'm originally from, I live in, and what do you do?
And we practiced those phrases together
We also did some role playing.
to give you a chance to practice speaking
And we talked about some important cultural tips.
and a common mistake to avoid.
And finally, we encouraged you to create your own introduction.
So much good stuff.
If you enjoyed this deep dive and you found it helpful,
Please give it a like
leave a comment.
and share it with your friends.
And of course, don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives on all sorts of English language topics.
In our next deep dive, we're going to be tackling another very practical skill.
What is it?
How to order food at a restaurant in English.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's a situation that maybe English learners find themselves in.
Definitely. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss it.
All right, everyone. It's been fantastic having you with us today.
Keep practicing your English.
And don't be afraid to speak.
Until next time.
Bye for now.